Okay, so yesterday we talked about how to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Who can remind me what that equation looks like every time?
Y equals mx plus b.
Okay. And just as a reminder, m represents which part? M is always our slope. And what variable is our y-intercept? B. Okay, so when we graph, we're going to follow two steps. First step is to plot the y-intercept. Hopefully it's obvious, but we're plotting that on the y-axis, right? If it's a y-intercept, it has to go on the y-axis. And then our second step is to use the slope This is why we talked about slope is rise over run to plot two other points. Okay, so really, I think this is the easiest way to graph is to use slope-intercept form because you don't have to make a table of values. You don't have to pick x values and plug them in and solve for y. It's much simpler because all you have to do is you have to know what's my slope and my y-intercept. You plot a point, you do rise over run, and you go from there, okay? I'll wait just a second because I know there's a couple others are still writing this down. Okay, now some of the problems we're doing today, it's just going to give you the slope and the y-intercept, right? You don't even have to identify them in an equation. So if my y-intercept is at -1, where do I go to put a point at -1?
-1.
Which direction?
Up.
Over, down.
One of those three answers is correct.
Down.
Down, right? Remember when we're on the y-axis, you guys, when we're talking about the y-intercept, you either just go up to the point or down to the point. So we're going to go down to -1, put a point. Then we're going to use our slope, which is rise over run. Now, here's the deal. Every time, this is the way I teach, you will either move up or down and then always to the right. It saves you from making mistakes, okay? So if I have +2, would I move up 2 or down 2? Up 2 and then to the right 3. So from this point, I don't go back to the origin. I'm talking about the point that I just did, right? Okay. I'm going to go up 2 and then right 3, and I put a point right there, okay? Then from that point, I go up 2 again, right 3, I put another point. Now should I be able to connect a line through those points? Yes, so go ahead and do that. Now, obviously when you use delta math, you'll put your 2 points and it'll put, like, you click a tool and it'll do the line for you, okay? I noticed last week or the week before when we were kind of plotting some of these points, some of you all would put your points on the line and then not put a graph through it, like not put your line through the points. You have to have your line through the points in order to get that correct, okay? All right, here we're given an equation, so we are going to have to identify what number's my slope, what's my y-intercept. So the y-intercept's what we want to put first. Who can tell me what my y-intercept is here? 1, right? Always the number at the end, okay? So where do I go to put my point at 1 on the y-intercept?
Down or up one.
Up 1, right? I go up to positive 1, and I put my point. Now, for slope, we always need a fraction. Is my slope right now written as a fraction? No. What's my slope right now? 2. How can I write 2 as a fraction? 2 over 1. So I might come in and put that as 2 over 1. So who can tell me how I can find my next point from here?
Right. 2 over 1.
So up 2 or down 2? Up 2, and then which direction?
Right 1.
Right 1. Put a point. From there, we go up 2 again, right 1, put a point. Okay, questions on that? Okay. Okay, anybody want to take this one?
JC does.
JC? Why?
Intercept down number what?
You can go ahead. What's the y-intercept, JC?
What?
3.
Close.
I don't know. -3.
Okay, so if my y-intercept is -3, where are you putting that point?
Down
Down 3.
Okay, so we go down 1, 2, 3, put our point. What's the slope?
-1, 3.
Okay, so what direction will we be moving?
Down
Down how many?
1.
1, and then,
-3.
well, we already went down, which shows negative,
Okay, then 3.
so right 3. So, listen, here's the reason, you guys, that I always tell you to move up or down, okay? Because up is positive, down is negative, and then we always move to the right, okay? Because if you move down 1 and then left, both of those ways show negative. Well, what's a negative divided by a negative? Positive. So that's going to change your slope then to a positive slope. So we'd move down, which shows negative, and then right 3, put a point. Now, I'm just going to go over this because this always happens to at least one person. Let's say you're not able to go down 1, right 3 again, like your graph has run out of room. I know this one doesn't, but let's just say it did. So if I wasn't able to go down 1, right 3 from here, what could I do instead back at my original point? I could go up 1 and left 3. You can always do the opposite, up 1, left 3, and that would keep your slope the same, okay? All right, last one.
Is this what we covered yesterday?
Not really, Hogan. I'll show you in just a second, okay? Similar, but not exactly the same. All right. Dylan, can you tell me what my y-intercept is on this equation? Okay, so where would you put your first point?
Up 3.
Up 3. Good. Okay, Who can tell me what my slope is here?
1.
1, right? Whenever we don't see a number in front of x, it's always 1. What about my slope as a fraction?
1 over 1.
1 over 1. So, Callan, where would I go to write my next point?
Up 1, right 1.
Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1.
Rutabaga.
Okay. Don't you guys think this is a lot easier to graph than doing the ordered pairs and plugging them in? Yes, no, you don't really care. Makes sense.